40 years ago, Jane and I hit the road to discover America's food highway. Over 100,000 meals later, we're still finding delicious food, adventure, natural beauty, and interesting people. A road trip through Kentucky is an opportunity to savor the American South at its most gracious. A land of fast, thoroughbred horses, world-famous racetracks, and bluegrass farms that stretch for miles. It's a place to eat crazy good barbecue, legendary fried chicken, and award-winning pie. In Covington, Herb and Thelma's has made a name for itself since it opened in 1939. It's a place to drink plenty of beer and to eat big, well-dressed burgers, bratwurst, metwurst, and fried bologna sandwiches topped with melted cheese. This is barroom fare at its finest. Kentucky is best known for its population of thoroughbred horses, the world's champions.
We're at WinStar Farm in Versailles, Kentucky, and right now we're at our stallion barn where we begin one half of our shuttle tour. WinStar is actually a pretty young farm. We started in the year 2000. We were about 450 acres when we started. Originally we had 3 stallions here and now we have 22. So we are probably the fastest growing farm in the area to go from 450 acres to 2,700 in just 18 short years. We also have anywhere from 500 to 600 horses on the farm at any given time. We have people come from all over the world, and what a big draw is the champions here in the barn. They have heard about these horses on the racetrack. A lot of them have run in the Kentucky Derby. We have 2 here that won the Kentucky Derby. So there is a big draw for just fans. If you come to the Bluegrass, you have to try some bourbon and you have to see a horse farm. That's what everyone will tell you to do.
In the town of Lexington, a good place to bring your appetite is an outfit called Blue Door Smokehouse Barbecue.
Lexington is a great little city, good dining scene, good nightlife scene, great university in town, lots of restaurants, lots of things to do. We're successful because we really focus on just a very few number of products. We do 5 meats and like 5 or 6 side items, and we focus on our customer service. So we make it easier for ourselves. We don't have too much to worry about, but we want to make each of those items really special and make them of the highest quality. The beef brisket, probably what we're most popular for, and pulled pork. So those are kind of the two, the 2 big popular barbecue items. Always fresh is one of our big things.
In Lexington, horse culture is everywhere. Nowhere more compelling than at Keeneland Racetrack. Founded back in the 1930s, Keeneland boasts beautifully landscaped grounds that are open to the public year-round. It's an idyllic setting, drawing big crowds for the spring meet. The question is, did you pick a winner? Lexington is home to the James E. Pepper Distillery. Here you can learn what makes bourbon unique among distilled spirits.
So bourbon is a really specific regulated term, and that's because in 1964, Congress made bourbon our native U.S. spirit. You have to follow these official federal regulations in order to call the product you're making a bourbon. There's 6 of them. First of all, it has to be made in the U.S. It has to be aged in a brand new charred white oak barrel. So it's got to be American white oak. It has to be charred on the inside, never before used, virgin white oak. And then it has to be made out of at least 51% corn. The other rules are a little more obscure. Those are the kind of main, most important ones. It has to be distilled at no higher than 160 proof. And then to go into the barrel, it cannot be higher than 125 proof. And then the last rule is it cannot be flavored, colored. You cannot add any flavorings, colorings, anything to really change that product. So we like to joke it's a health product.
Our founder was James Graham Brown. He's the brass statue outside the hotel. One day, he and some of his associates in the lumber business had a meeting down at the Seelbach Hotel, our competitor, right down the street. Well, the bellmen who were working at that time didn't allow his cohorts into the hotel. They said they looked too scruffy. They had been coming from the lumber plant. Well, Mr. Brown was furious. So he marched himself right up the street and bought this piece of property. Sitting here was a mansion. It was the home of Theodore Solger, a confectioner at the time. He bought this piece of property and built this hotel in 10 months at a cost of under $4 million. Built a luxury hotel in 10 months that was brick by hand at under $4 million. And immediately the hotel became a success. The first person to sign our guest book was David Lloyd George, the sitting Prime Minister of Great Britain.
Foodies know the Brown Hotel is home of the hot brown sandwich, a knife and fork affair that has since become a Kentucky signature dish. But beyond that plate of ooey gooey goodness, the hotel offers a world of fine dining, from potent mint juleps to chocoholic desserts of the highest caliber. Louisville, home of what's arguably the most famous racetrack on earth, that's Churchill Downs, also is home to one of the great pie palaces of America. The varieties are endless, including Dixie favorite chess pies, universally loved fruit pies, cream pies, not to mention fabulous ice cream treats, too. You don't have to be a baseball fan to know that Louisville is home of the classic American baseball bat, the Louisville Slugger. You can find all about it at the Slugger Museum. Here you'll find out about the longest and heaviest bats ever used, as well as bats swung by Babe Ruth and Mickey Mantle. Did you know that a professional baseball player goes through about 120 bats per season? Western Kentucky has a barbecue style all its own, one of the brightest and best in the nation. You can taste it at a humble joint in Henderson named Thomason. Around here, sauce is known as dip, and the meat of choice isn't pork or beef, it's mutton. Thomas's beans are legendary, and a slice of its cream pie is not soon forgotten. In Henderson, Brown Bag Burgers is a road food favorite.
The Brown Bag is a family restaurant. We're all like family here, and the customers everybody knows everybody, and gets full up in here. We just have a big party.
Yes, that says road food fried chicken. Fried chicken is the menu's star, real Kentucky fried chicken. But there's much, much more in this happy, out-of-the-way eatery, as well as smoked meats, steaks, and ribs and such, and breakfast. Big, hearty breakfast, potent, well-aged country ham and buttermilk biscuits, and yes, fried chicken too. In this part of the world, chicken is king at any meal. Whatever you hunger for, Brown Bag Burgers delivers it at its Kentucky best. The city of Owensboro considers itself the barbecue capital of the world.
It's a very welcoming town, very open arms. We love meeting new people. It's just a good place to be. My great-great-grandfather started, and he started in 1918. It's the best because we pay really close attention to details. Like the process over the 100 years is the same. The recipe for the dip, we don't cut corners. It's old school. It takes a lot of work. It's not something you just spit out, We cook 22 hours every day. It's just the hard way to do it, and I think that makes a difference. And we get a lot of people from out of town. You can see the map in there. That map's only 2 years old. Our barbecuing, like true Western Kentucky barbecue. When my customers try it, I want them to taste traditional Kentucky barbecue the way it's supposed to be, not how it's perceived. Like that's the real deal. That's 100-year-old tradition passed down father to son, and stayed in one family, and it has a lot of pride, a lot of care. It's like comfort food that takes a lot of work,
No visit to this state is complete without a trip through Mammoth Caves. Underneath the rolling hills of southern Kentucky, sounds echo through the caverns, bouncing off walls carved under the earth millennia ago. Water drips off crystallized formations. Bats still flutter through the cool air. Mammoth Cave is the world's longest known cave system, with more than 400 explored miles. Who couldn't love a place where the comfort foods are long-cooked barbecue, legendary fried chicken, and award-winning pie, juleps, and fine bourbon? Even if it isn't where you live, the Bluegrass State easily feels like your old Kentucky home.